out here in wild San Diego Bay.
Got a wild loggerhead sea turtle. Actually, leatherback, I think. Let's see if he pops up. There he is. Here, get this paddle out of the water. I don't want to scare him.
Where are we, Josh? San Diego Bay?
San Diego Bay.
We are on our way to a marina right around the corner so that we can get a short haul because our bottom is very dirty and we'd like to change the prop. We have a new one and just give it one last really good inspection before, you know, we make that big crossing. Just put eyes on everything again out of the water is a good thing. But we keep having some engine troubles because the bottom's so fouled up. We keep sucking in like these soft barnacle things that grow on the bottom of the boat, and they're like these jello blobs that just break loose and they get sucked right up into the engine intake and clog everything up. We must have taken the thing apart 5 or 6 times now and spent a couple hours total dicking with it, just getting all the shit out of there. And you get it cleaned up and the engine runs great, and then it sucks another one up and it...
Was that you?
Yeah, that was totally fine. And then it's, you know, it stops pumping water right, which you can't have, but we've got the sails up in case it dies again, and we've got it peeing good now. So... yeah, it should make us to the marina, and once the bottom's clean, we shouldn't have that issue anymore. Everything else is going super smooth. We got to put these new panels in last night. We were up working on this till late at night because these 2 panels that we had did not put out enough power to run the fridge with the overcast San Diego conditions here. And we definitely don't want to be losing our frozen goods and our cold food.
Got that bacon.
Yep, yeah, we got a lot of meat, bacon, fucking cheese. I want that shit. So we got power to run all the refrigeration now, that's for sure. And yeah, pull the camera back out and get to the haul out. This is the Navy shipyard, and that's an aircraft carrier, which is pretty fucking dank, in my opinion. Super fucking dank. So, it's June 23rd. Yeah, Friday. And we're still in San Diego. Yesterday, Joshua and I, we took Leela off of the mooring and we took her over to Shelter Island Marina and Boatyard. Remember that name if you come to California. First off, I'd like to say, did not have a good fucking experience. Those guys were kooks. At least for us. I don't know, they thought we were kooks or something, and they tried to pull a fast one over on us, that was for sure. We got there, we had scheduled a short haul to have the boat pulled out. We wanted to just give the bottom a good cleaning, a pressure wash, and inspect everything very well, inspect the through holes from the outside. You know, we dove the boat a few times, but diving a boat's a little different than looking at it out of the water. You can take a little bit more time, especially free diving, because we don't have scuba gear or certifications of that. So took the boat to Shelter Island, had everything scheduled out. We got there, they told us the boat was too dirty on the bottom, it was too fouled for them to haul. The guy made some comment about us scratching the slings on the travel lift, which was just hilarious because, one, the growth here, while it grows very fast and it's excessive and it gets very heavy, it's all soft and it's slimy. You know, there's some minor barnacles that we noticed on the bottom, but they were very, very small, especially compared to Florida. We're used to these, you know, in the warm tropical waters. We get a lot of slime, a lot of algae, but we also get these fat honking barnacles, and I mean they're rough. You got to take a floor scraper down there and smash them up on the bottom of the boat. Cleaning a boat in Florida, especially one without good bottom paint, is a very difficult experience. So you know, that was just a little bit absurd. Firstly, because there's not barnacles on the bottom of the boat. Secondly, because for anybody that's ever had their boat hauled and seen a travel lift up close, you're probably wondering how you scratch the fucking slings on your travel lift, because they're like made out of Kevlar, and they're like 2 inches thick, and they're indestructible. You know, it's just the guy, he was pulling wool over our eyes, that's for sure. He told us that if we scratched his slings, he'd owe us a new pair at like $7,000 or $8,000. You know, just some ridiculous stuff. I worked not at Sea Love, I worked out of Sea Love Yard as a contractor for like a year and a half, and watched them haul some boats that had those Florida barnacles freaking 2 inches wide and 3 inches long sticking out all over them. And the barnacles crunch underneath the weight of the slings in the boat. You know, it doesn't have any kind of effect on the machine itself. So it's harder to clean. I think that's what it came down to. Even though we were paying them 3 times as much as a Florida boat yard would have charged just for a short haul, I think they were just didn't want to fuck with it. You know, so we ended up just foregoing that endeavor. We made it all the way to the marina, had some choice words with the, you know, manager, whomever was in charge of our short haul at that point. Fine gentleman named Ernie. And Joshua and I decided that, you know, we'd just save the money and we would just clean the boat really well ourselves. So that's what we did. We went back to the mooring that we're sitting on now here, and this little mooring field right by Little Italy. The name of the field slips my mind, but it's right by the USS Midway and the Coast Guard station. It's a sweet little spot. And we came back here and kind of, you know, we suited up in our wetsuits. Water's about 62 degrees here, and put on all our gear, and I wrapped all my hair up so I didn't get all the little worm things that grow on the bottom in my hair. And we jumped in the water and we scraped her. It took us an hour or two. We were free diving, and then we took some Scotch pads and gave it a good scrub after the scraping. Got the bottom really, really clean. So, you know, that went well. We didn't notice anything serious. We were able to we've been having issues with the engine intake for the raw water cooling system. The through hull below the water line that draws the raw water into the diesel to cool it all off while it's running. It's supposed to have a little kind of like strainer, almost like what's in your sink to keep all the nasties from going down your sink drain. It's supposed to have one of those basically kind of screwed to the outside of the through hull, and what that does is it, you know, prevents any larger items like all the growth that we were sucking up and whatnot from getting lodged into the intake hull and clogging that up while your engine's running. Well, some people don't put strainers on their through hulls, either because they're cheap or they don't believe in them, or there's pros and cons for it. The majority of people have them. I prefer to have one, but this boat does not. So when the bottom got very fouled, man, I had to clean out the sea strainer in the through hull. I'll show you right where it's at. It's right down here. So we'd be running the engine, and Josh would say, "Oh, it's not pissing," and we'd turn off the motor, and I'd come down here into this little hatch, and I just put this all back together nice and tight. But there's the intake through hole. You can see it. This is the through hole where the water comes down. This is the keel. Water comes in through here, goes into this tube, goes into the strainer, which is supposed to catch the mess. Then it goes to the engine apparatus, or it really goes to the water pump, which draws it in and through the engine. So let's show you one more time. I'd pull the hose off. I'd pull this valve off down here, unscrew it all. Then you just got this hole busting water into the build. And I take this little piece of wire I got tidied up there and fucking jam her in there until I got all the shit out. And we did that about, gosh, I must have spent a cumulative 4 or 5 hours doing that over the last few days. We'd get it going and we'd suck something up, and then I'd have to do it again. So fortunately we didn't burn an impeller out, but I'm about to actually dive into the diesel and replace that now, because we just ran it dry a few times, and for the trip that we're making, I'd like to have a new impeller in the diesel. We definitely added a lot of wear to it doing that. But now that the bottom's clean, I went through this morning and I cleaned it all out again and cleaned out the sea strainer, and we've got great flow, and we shouldn't have to worry about much more getting clogged up in there, which makes me feel very good. It's definitely very frustrating to know that everything was okay, but that it wouldn't be if we let the diesel run without water. So it was like constantly stressing about, oh, is it still peeing water out the back? Yes it is. No it isn't. Okay, turn it off, let's unclog it. It's like every 2 seconds we were checking the back of the boat and listening for the psh, 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 of the exhaust. So yeah, we got that taken care of. The bottom of the boat's clean. We spent a lot of time yesterday just kind of playing with everything, playing with our self-steering gear, getting our chart plotter set up, and our EPIRB and our emergency survival gear, our ditch bag put together. We've got pretty small list left of things to check off that I'm very confident we're going to finish today. It's been, for the last like 3 or 4 days, it's like tomorrow, but as anxious as I am to get out of San Diego and push further on in this adventure, don't want to be foolish about it. This is a very big undertaking, and our survival and less importantly our comfort is at stake here. And while I can get through with a little discomfort, we can't survive without food and water and shelter that's adequate, so especially not in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So we don't want to cut any corners here, and it's worth delaying 1 to maybe 3 days to increase our chances of getting through this experience safely and pretty comfortably. I think we're going to be pretty comfortable, unless something that we've done doesn't hold up, let's say, or it fails prematurely, or we have unforeseen issues, which I'm sure we will, that are severe in a vital system, and our redundancies fail. Then unless that kind of situation happens, I think we're going to be very comfortable. We have more than enough food for 3 months for 2 people. We've got enough water for 2 months for 2 people at a gallon of water a piece per day. So that's 100. Well, we've got excess of that too, actually. So we've got 140 gallons on the boat. 20 gallons of that is washing water, non-potable, and 120 of that is potable drinking water. So that's 2 gallons a day for Josh and I together, 1 gallon apiece for 60 days of just drinking water. So we're feeling pretty good about that. There's not going to be enough fresh to take freshwater showers, or even we're not even going to be able to wash dishes with fresh water or rinse them. It's everything except for drinking and cooking is going to be done with salt water, which is okay when you're offshore. The salt water is really clean. You get used to the taste of it on your toothbrush. You get used to the taste of it in your water bottle. It's like it's free water that we can't be drinking or fresh like that or using it up, especially not to be washing dishes. So you just make do with what you got. And we got plenty of salt water. So yeah, I think that about covers it. Today we have our AIS system to finish installing. We have to finish filing our float plan. I have to change the impeller, which I'm about to get to. And then we're going to leave here and we're going to go to a local pump out dock. And we're going to tie up and wash the boat down one last time and top up our non-potable water that we've been using a little bit less than frugally, because we know that we have one last chance to fill up before we go. And then oh gosh, what else is on the list? I think that's about it. We have a couple little things to do on deck, some stuff to tie down a little bit better. We've got surfboards on deck still that we're gonna move down below and stow in the V-berth somewhere nice and out of the way, so that we don't have to worry about them getting damaged and wrecked, and because they're nice now and we want them to be nice when we get to Hawaii. So it's what we're going to Hawaii for, to fucking sail and surf.